Putin's warning of escalation reflects a central tenet of international relations, that the transfer of advanced weaponry can fundamentally alter the nature of a conflict, by emphasizing that supplying Tomahawk cruise missiles to Ukraine would represent a qualitatively new stage of escalation. Putin sought to underscore the gravity of U.S. involvement and the potential consequences for global stability. The Tomahawk, a long-range precision missile capable of striking deep within Russian territory, symbolizes not merely a tactical enhancement, but a strategic shift in the balance of deterrence. From an educational perspective, this serves as a practical case study in how military technology interacts with diplomacy. The introduction of such weapons could blur the line between proxy support and direct participation, raising the risks of miscalculation and unintended confrontation. Putin's statement can also be viewed through the lens of deterrence theory. He aims to raise the perceived costs of escalation high enough to dissuade further Western intervention. Historically, similar warnings have accompanied the deployment of new technologies in conflict zones, such as the U.S. deployment of Pershing missiles in Europe during the Cold War. Thus, the warning is not only political but also pedagogical, illustrating the delicate equilibrium between military aid and geopolitical escalation. Putin's assertion that the potential supply of Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine would destroy or severely damage U.S. Russia relations offers an instructive example of how strategic interactions between great powers often hinge on perception, symbolism, and trust rather than immediate battlefield outcomes. His words, though framed as a political warning, also highlight the fragility of diplomatic relations in an era where military aid and deterrence have become tightly interwoven. The notion that a single weapons transfer could unravel years of cautious engagement underscores the depth of mutual suspicion and the erosion of the cooperative structures that once moderated great power rivalry. From an educational perspective, this situation illustrates how states interpret foreign military assistance not just as a tactical move, but as a political signal about intentions and future behavior. The United States may view the supply of Tomahawks as a means to strengthen Ukraine's defense and deter further Russian aggression. Russia, however, interprets the same action as an aggressive encroachment on its strategic sphere, a violation of implicit red lines, and an erosion of the minimal trust needed for dialogue. In international relations theory, this is a clear manifestation of the *** security dilemma ***, in which one state's attempt to increase its security inevitably threatens another, prompting a spiral of hostility and counteraction. Putin's emphasis on the destruction of bilateral ties can also be understood through the lens of *** constructivist theory ***, which stresses the importance of shared narratives, mutual understanding, and the social construction of international norms. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia and the United States have oscillated between limited cooperation, especially in arms control and counterterrorism, and recurrent phases of tension, often provoked by disagreements over NATO expansion, missile defense, and interventions in regions of overlapping interest. Each cycle of escalation leaves behind a residue of mistrust, making future reconciliation increasingly difficult. The Tomahawk issue, therefore, represents not an isolated dispute but part of a broader pattern of misperception and contested legitimacy in global politics. Furthermore, Putin's warning can be seen as both a diplomatic maneuver and a domestic message. Internationally, it seeks to deter Washington and its allies by framing the missile supply as a red line whose crossing would justify severe Russian countermeasures, perhaps diplomatic severance or military escalation. Domestically, it reinforces his narrative of Russia as a besieged power defending its sovereignty against Western encirclement. This dual-layer communication strategy is common in high-stakes diplomacy, where leaders must simultaneously manage external threats and internal legitimacy. In essence, the idea that Tomahawk deliveries could destroy relations symbolizes how far the U.S. Russia relationship has drifted from post-Cold War optimism. It reminds students of diplomacy that trust, once lost, is exceedingly difficult to rebuild, and that symbolic acts, like the transfer of a weapon system, can carry meanings far beyond their technical parameters. In the educational sense, this case invites reflection on how easily geopolitical competition can overpower dialogue, and how preserving even minimal channels of cooperation is essential to prevent crises from hardening into enduring confrontation. Putin's claim that the use of Tomahawk missiles by Ukraine would entail direct U.S. participation in the conflict opens a rich field for educational analysis, blending law, strategy, and international relations. His argument rests on the premise that such long-range, high-precision weapons require not only technical transfer, but also operational support, guidance systems, satellite coordination, and possibly targeting intelligence, all of which could implicate the United States beyond the role of a mere supplier. This assertion invites reflection on how modern warfare increasingly blurs the distinction between combatant and non-combatant states, and how technology-driven warfare challenges traditional notions of neutrality and intervention. In legal and ethical terms, Putin's warning touches on the question of *** state responsibility ** under international law. If a state provides another with weaponry that can be used to strike a third party's territory, to what extent is it complicit in the resulting actions? The doctrine of indirect participation has been debated since the early 20th century, but the integration of advanced military systems has made such distinctions even murkier. Modern weapon platforms often depend on shared networks for targeting, communications, and logistics. If the U.S. were to supply Tomahawks, Russian analysts argue that American personnel or technology would inevitably play a role in targeting coordination, thereby transforming what appears as indirect support into a form of ** co-belligerency **. From a strategic standpoint, this interpretation serves several purposes. First, it raises the perceived political cost for Washington, warning that even limited involvement could lead to broader confrontation. Second, it prepares the rhetorical groundwork for Russia to justify potential retaliatory actions, whether diplomatic, cyber, or military, on the grounds that it faces direct U.S. aggression. Third, it reframes the Ukraine conflict not as a regional issue but as part of a global contest between major powers, an interpretation that bolsters Russia's narrative of self-defense and mobilizes domestic support. Educationally, the statement can be viewed through the lens of ** deterrence theory ** by suggesting that Tomahawk use would implicate the U.S. directly. Putin aims to deter both the delivery and employment of such weapons. This aligns with the concept of ** extended deterrence **, in which the threat of escalation extends beyond the immediate battlefield to encompass broader political and security consequences. In practice, such deterrent signaling is designed to make decision-makers pause before committing to actions that could be interpreted as a step toward direct confrontation. Finally, Putin's framing also reveals how military technology influences political discourse. The Tomahawk missile is not merely a weapon, it is a symbol of American reach, precision, and global dominance. By linking its potential deployment to direct U.S. involvement, Putin transforms a technical issue into a geopolitical statement. For students of international affairs, this offers an important lesson. In modern conflict, perception often carries as much strategic weight as capability. The power of narrative, when paired with technological symbolism, can shape diplomatic realities as effectively as any weapon on the field. Putin's assertion of confidence in Russia's ability to counter or intercept Tomahawk missiles is not only a statement of military readiness, but also a carefully constructed message designed to serve multiple strategic and psychological purposes. On the surface, it projects an image of technological superiority and self-assurance, reinforcing the idea that Russia remains capable of defending its sovereignty despite Western military support for Ukraine. However, beneath this assertion lies a complex interplay of deterrence, morale, and political signaling that reveals much about the role of defense systems in modern geopolitics. From a technical standpoint, Russia has spent decades developing a layered air defense network designed to intercept threats such as cruise missiles. Systems like the **S4, 100 Triumph **S5, 100 Promti**, and the **Panzer S-1 are promoted as capable of neutralizing a range of aerial threats, from drones to intercontinental ballistic missiles. Putin's claim that Tomahawks would not change the balance on the battlefield can thus be understood as an attempt to emphasize the resilience and adaptability of Russian defense technology. In doing so, he seeks to reassure domestic audiences that Russia is prepared for escalation while simultaneously downplaying the military significance of Western weapon transfers. Yet, this confidence serves a second, more subtle function: psychological deterrence. In military strategy, deterrence is not achieved solely through the possession of superior technology, but through the projection of unshakable confidence in that technology's effectiveness. By publicly asserting that Tomahawks would make little difference, Putin aims to erode the perceived benefits of U.S. arms support among Ukrainian and Western decision makers. If adversaries believe their new weapons will not yield decisive advantages, they may hesitate to deploy them fully or may doubt the strategic payoff of escalation. This mirrors Cold War-era rhetoric, when both the United States and the Soviet Union routinely exaggerated their defensive capabilities to sustain the illusion of invulnerability. From an educational standpoint, this dynamic illustrates how military communication functions as both strategy and performance. Putin's statements should not be read purely as factual claims about weapon effectiveness, but as narrative instruments intended to shape perception. Every assertion about the capability of air defenses contributes to the broader information war, a contest over credibility, legitimacy, and confidence. In the information domain, appearing capable can often be as impactful as actually being capable. Finally, Putin's remarks reveal an important aspect of strategic adaptation. By emphasizing that Russia can counter new threats, he signals an ongoing process of technological evolution and doctrinal adjustment. This reflects a long-standing Russian military philosophy that warfare is not static but a constant cycle of innovation and counter-innovation. For students of military science and international relations, this serves as a reminder that confidence in defense capability is never merely a technical issue. It is also a political declaration and a psychological shield. Through this narrative, Putin transforms defensive posture into strategic leverage, reinforcing Russia's image as a resilient power undeterred by Western escalation.